Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3. Or, sorry, 2. This is game number 2 in a best of 3. Good start, Rifkin! Currently leading the series. Let me just update here. 1 for mini. It's currently leading the series, as I just typed in chat, though. In the top right corner of the map, from Fnatic. Up 1-0, Red and Zerg. It is Miniraser. And his opponent in the bottom left. Oh boy, did he play a weird game. It was exciting nonetheless. From Team PK, Planet Key, it's the ever nervous player, Gungfubanda. And this is what I can't stress, guys. Like, this is really the difference of experience or not. Miniraser might not have something like a DreamHack championship under his belt, but he's got experience playing in just about every tournament that you can think of in Europe. Fnatic's a very supportive team. They send him where he needs to go, and he gets a lot of practice, whether it's online cups or offline cups. One of the key things here is that he's not cracking from pressure. We see him keep it calm and collected. It was a base trade scenario that could have gone either way. I mean, really, it could have gone either way, but Miniraser ends up getting it in the end. I think a lot of this, too, was Gungfubanda, you lose that mothership core, you panic. Suddenly, it's a forced base trade. Suddenly, you're left with this sort of 3-minute downtime where you're like, I probably should have attacked 10 seconds ago. But now if I attack now, maybe it's too late. Maybe if I go too soon, he'll have a bigger army. Maybe he's got more than I think he does. Like, I mean, this is a guy who admittedly openly said earlier and again that he's a little bit nervous in this series. I think, though, even if he goes down here today, I hope he doesn't, but even if he does go down here today, well, it sucks. Like, I hope Miniraser gets through, too. This is a stupid scenario where a caster wants both players to win. But regardless, he'll probably come back in the qualifier tomorrow and be just as strong. Same for Miniraser. I mean, honestly, these are contenders. These are guys that should be in Challenger League. I mean, I could even make the argument that Miniraser should be in Premier League if we're going to be completely honest here. A little bit biased, but I think that tomorrow will be a very interesting day. Now, he does go for, ooh, this is ballsy, 3 hatch before pool, guys. This in and of itself is fairly greedy, but more importantly than this, he does this against Miniraser, who didn't go for a fast expand, who didn't do a forge expand, but a gateway expand into a forge follow-up. Now, there's a player named Nomi who's done similar builds like this in the past, but as we see, a fake out, that probe of the natural, and the cannons are going to come down here at the natural base of Miniraser, and this will actually time out pretty perfectly. A lot of the times you build your cannons too early, they attack too soon, and the hatchery is just instantly canceled. But I don't think Gungfubanda knows about the third. So while he's going to dedicate what I feel is way too much to this attack, Miniraser is just not going to give quite frankly, a damn. He can just go to the third. Rallying the drones over there now. Gungfubanda may catch wind of this. He's like, wait a minute, why are you not panicking? Yeah, cancels the cannon immediately. He knows what's up. He might not have confirmed it, but he knows what's up. 2 drones will not stop a cannon attack on this third. Pylon going down behind the mineral lines, maybe. The drones start chasing it off, though. He's going to try and mineral walk back to the natural where it's safe and sound. But his own natural comes down to Miniraser actually. Oh, Miniraser. Oh, Miniraser. He goes for the gold base as well, recognizing that he still wants to be on 3 bases and that his natural base is absolutely sacrificed. Takes the gold instead. And this may end up paying off better than ever, because this is not a base you would normally be able to afford to take this early, but a base that you're now forced to take this early. No gases, of course, slow lings coming out behind this, but I mean, Gungfubanda against 4 lings, 6 lings, you can use your own probes. We'll probably try and get some SimCity up here with a cannon behind this. I mean, I think between that and mothership core, without a photon overcharge, he'll be perfectly fine. These lings though are going to come before cannons up. That's 100% for sure. However, 1 zealot, it could deal with this. This is not, again, a forge expand. It's not a fast expand with a forge follow-up. This was a gateway expand with a forge tacked onto it, so it's. I don't know, just the timings are going to be odd. Cybercore, of course, can come down here if he wanted, but he already built in the main, so never mind. Irrelevant, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's like Rifkin's casting career, am I right? Up top. Shut up, nerds. Anyways, the gateways are coming down. There's no cannon, though, which I find to be the most surprising, because you have to assume, like, look, your opponent's going to be trying to run past this. A very common follow-up to this that we're seeing more and more often. And granted, it's very less likely that Miniraser will do this, but we're seeing players actually start bailing busting as a response, which blows my mind, because for what I can only imagine as the last 2-3 years of StarCraft 2, banelings in ZVP, big no-no. There's some players who have made it work. I want to give a very special nod to Liquid Snoot, who has to date had the coolest banelings I've ever seen in ZVP. He played a series versus Stardust, I think it was like 2 seasons ago. He did things like Bane Rain on top of force fields. Stardust got baited into doing that classic donut with the force fields on top of the sentries, and Snoot just unloaded like 7 Banelings on top of it. I mean, there's a lot of cool ways you can use Banelings, but for the most part, you don't use them in this matchup because they do get shut down by force fields. But, yeah, no Baneling busts the counterattack. Instead, we got a Roach Warren coming out here pretty lickety-split. This gold base accelerates the incoming very nicely. Gungfubanda, no! We're gonna lose the Mothership Core. No... stupid Mothership Core. No Photon Overcharge at home. No Time Warps, more importantly. But another, and this is the big thing, 100 gas he has to now spend replacing that Mothership Core. That's less Stalkers he can now warp in offensively. That's less, I guess with the minerals too, less Zealots he can put forward. But he can pick up a lot of these Overlords if he wanted to. This might supply block Miniraser. This will supply block Miniraser, actually. There's only a Roach. And because he's supply block, he can't build more. He has to pull drones into this. Oh, this is horrible. But it's perfect for Gungfubanda, who can now retreat to the cannons as safety with only 1 or 2 Roaches at a time. I mean, Roaches can beat out Stalkers when there's enough of them. But look at this, guys. With the cannons to defend, Slowlings and low amounts of Roaches are not going to cut this. Gungfubanda starts 4-gating behind this, but this doesn't have to be an all-in. We'll see if he decides to make it one, but he can't fight on creep. That's the bottom line. If he goes up that ramp, it's a little bit scary, but this might be the best avenue of attack because there's only 1 hatchery producing for the main. There's 2 hatcheries that protect each other over here with the gold, but he's going to walk around and maybe go for the gold? Question mark? I hope not. I don't know why he didn't continue putting pressure on the main, because you know what he could have done as well? Walked up the main with all those Stalkers, warped in 2 sentries, just force fielded off that ramp. Make sure nothing else could have gotten hit, but trying to pick off the Overlords. He really doesn't want to dedicate to this because he doesn't know where his opponent's army is. He's got to know speed's bound to be done. There we go. Confirms the speed on that pylon. He walks away with the Stalkers, and he does a fair amount of damage, but doesn't over-dedicate. So not an all-in. Third base coming up behind this. He's actually got a fairly nice army going for him. Because for Miniraser, you know, he was trying to get away with droning like crazy. You know, you have your third base delayed like that for so long. You don't get a queen out because you can't transfer it. I mean, his drone count isn't suffering, but it was delayed. And of course, he gets the queen. What? The drones were helping with that too. Whoa, queen, why you suck so much? There we go. The drones finished the job. Cannon's gonna go down here. The pylon gets cleaned up, and oh, Gungfubanda with 1 Zealot does more damage than I think the Stalkers really did, but still, well handled. Well handled indeed. A macro hatchery even coming down the main. And Miniraser, you know, he's in a situation where I don't think he's going to go for a Nidus Worm, although I kind of wish he would. There's a lot of dead space up here for Gungfubanda, but there's no Overlords to scout. It doesn't really work out. But moving on to the layer tech here, chances are we're going to see a combination of Hydralisk Den, maybe an Infestation Pit if he's really worried about Blink Stalkers. Less likely for Swarm Hosts, but a lot of the times, you know, you go Roach Hydra versus Blink Stalkers. If it's 40 Blink Stalkers on level 3 weapon upgrades, Roach Hydra is going to lose, simply because they can't keep up with the retention ability that Blink provides. But if you put a Fungal Growth down and nothing can hop around, well, then you win that fight 10 times out of 10. I think the late game here, they're in order though. Yeah, the Robo Bay on the way, didn't catch that, so it wasn't like a production tab. Twilight Council as well to get that blink, probably as predicted. I highly doubt this will be Charge. Charge has its place in PvZ, but it's a later upgrade that you can't afford to get early on. But there's that Infestation Pit. And Miniraser's he's a jack of all trades. This is what makes him such a strong Zerg player in my books. He can play Swarm Hosts. He can play Roaches. He can just go for the quicker Vipers. I don't think this will be Swarm Hosts. It wouldn't make sense going into this many Blink Stalkers. You make Swarm Hosts into someone who goes like really gateway heavy, but not with Stalkers, because Blink Stalkers can get right on top of the Swarm Hosts and focus them down. And as predicted, the Fungal Growth going to be coming out here for, well, I guess Pathogen Glands leading to the Fungal Growth so they can catch these Stalkers. But this will work out as well too, because Colossus, you know, they might be massive units, but unlike Ultralisks, they don't have that Frenzy buff, so Fungal will lock them in place, an Abductor too here and there, going to that Hive Tech. I mean, Miniraser's set up really nicely, and he's still mining off this gold base, which is kind of just like, whoa, dude. But this army pushing is a little bit scary. There's a recall available. Double-pronged attacks. This is something Miniraser's been really good at doing all day, but sadly, a recall goes down, and not a lot dies for that. Gungfubanda disengages with almost no losses. I think they lost, what, a century? Yeah, a couple centuries. But really quick on that recall button. That being said, now there's not 2 overcharges. Now there's no time warps. Both players supply blocked at the exact same time. This third base is no Sim City protecting it whatsoever. The roaches are coming in. Are there enough immortals to take this on? The Colossus is getting focus fired. Those force fields have got to be God mode, and they're good. They actually keep the Colossus alive. The immortals dealing a ton of damage, but the Stalkers are stuck in here. Blink is not done. Blink's only like a third of the way complete. This third base is going to die. These gateways are going to be forfeit. Actually, there's a warp prism going on while this was happening. You didn't quite catch that. Main base for Miniraser has been evacuated. Oh, actually, no, it was killed, not evacuated. Wait, no, where'd the drones go? I guess he just didn't have a lot here in the first place. I don't know, weird to look at. But the Zealots trying to force their way onto the lair. They might be able to get this. It's going to be close. The Roaches might just barely clean this up. The Zealots are getting this so low, though. He will get the lair. With one more swipe, gets it, and the Queen, oh, with enough energy to transfuse. That sucks. He could have saved that. 100% could have saved that, but look at the transition. Look at the follow-up. Gungfubanda saying, you know what? Screw it. Colossus aren't going to cut it this game. I'm going to go for double Stargates, and he starts air weapon upgrades. Blink Stalkers mixed with Void Rays, perhaps Carriers. This sounds like a joke, guys, but we watched Miniraser do this giant Sky Toss composition on Overgrowth just yesterday against Betrayus. And while it didn't win him the game, it almost won him the game. Pushing over here, towards the south. Sorry guys, just had to type a very important message about some casting that's going on later this week. But anyways, Phoenixes are out. Prepare for the Muta Swamp. He's got the Fleet Beacon on the way, and Pulse Crystals. Sorry, I mean, I got into this tangent. I was going to start getting all excited and talk about the Air Toss competition, but for now, Phoenix will get the trick done. Mutas are a very scary thing to deal with, and he will clean this up actually quite handily. Now, this is a big problem for Miniraser, because when you go Muta Corruptor, it works out fantastically versus... Oh my god, those roaches are screwed. It works out fantastically versus someone who goes heavy Phoenixes. But it's not going to be the situation in this game, because he already bled out a lot of those Mutas. Typically, you come in with like 4 Corruptors and like 12 plus Mutas. In this scenario, he's down to like 4 Mutas. Oh, actually 10. I take that back. He built some more. But really, a lot of Corruptors and not a lot of buffer for this, sadly. But... this will give him air control. The Colossus is probably going to be remade. Why is he just going to let that go? Okay, Gungfubanda just a little bit late to the response. Because he's warping in here to the top right. Because he's attacking the top left. He's performing two counterattacks while this is happening at the exact same time. I guess focusing on the Spore. Potential litter. I don't know. The lair did die already, and this new layer is trying to become the Hive. So, or the Hive rather died already. He's trying to get the new Hive up, but you know, killing macro hatcheries is still pretty good. This will really hamper the larva supply. For Miniraser, you know, he's got all of his bases on his side of the map except for one. He's going to have a bank eventually, but as a Zerg player, even though you're used to getting that bank, it's no good if you don't have any larva to actually use units with, to build units with. You know, a very typical way to play Zerg is, you know, you throw your army away, granted, and you cancel out your opponents, but you remax way faster. Not an option. But Gungfubanda is still looking to do some counterattacks. Same with Miniraser, coming down the right side of the map, coming up the left side of the map. Both players will be cleaned up pretty quickly by one another's army, but I'm liking this heavier Phoenix count out of Gungfubanda. These are not the most effective units versus Roaches, but Roaches aren't really where this game's going to stay. However, actually, I had neglected the fact that we did have heavy melee upgrades for the majority of this game, and I've overlooked it because we've seen so many Roaches in play, but we're going to have 3-1 Ultras, well 3-2 Ultras with Carapace, or Chitinous Plating rather. This is going to be hard to deal with, because right now Gungfubanda is going so Phoenix heavy. They can't Graviton beam up Ultras, they can't even shoot Ultras. He doesn't have Void Rays, his immortal count's really low. This late game tech swap is the unorthodox way to handle it, but Gungfubanda has been successfully tricked into thinking this is going to be solely and entirely Muta Corruptor, but it's not just Muta Corruptor. It's in fact going to be a ground-based army. But flying forward here with the Onion Pulse Crystal upgrade gives them that range bonus they need. Phoenix is one of the few units of the game that can attack and shoot at the same time. So dirty! Gonna get a lot of damage done here. Normally, they shouldn't be able to scratch the skin off a Corruptor. You know, Corruptor's one of the few units in the game that come with base 2 armor. Phoenix has only dealt 5 damage versus well, granted times twice, but against non-light units, I mean, they really shouldn't deal this much damage this quickly, but because the numbers are so high and he's got those level 1 upgrades, these Phoenix are kicking some ass. In fact, actually, if he's got enough Phoenix, he's got the potential to kill all the Overlords. This doesn't happen often. It's a very rare instance in PvZ, but you can technically kill all the Overlords and just keep your opponent from being able to build anything. What good is 10k minerals? What good is Ultralisk Caverns if you can't build anything because your supply blocks? Yeah, Roach is going to Graviton Beam, ahoy! Hoist them to the air, boys. Miniraser, though, I mean, I'm liking the way he's playing this sort of laid back. We don't see him throwing away his entire army. He knows that's exactly what's going to happen if he tries to fight. The Phoenix count is way too out of control. But, you know, the Pathogen Glands, this didn't complete? What? I thought he had finished this early. He must have canceled it. Jesus. This is really big, then. I was going to say, you know, it's not too hard to get a fungal growth on top of these Phoenixes, blah, blah, blah. But now these Infestors, later than they would normally be, this is going to be very problematic. Ultralisks and buildings are the only thing these Phoenixes are not going to kill. They're going to kill Corruptors, they're going to kill Overlords, they're going to Graviton Beam up, anything on the ground. There's no no Hydras. The Mutas count is way too low to engage this. 9 Mutas, 15 Corruptors. I mean, he might get a couple of kills here as he tries to retreat, but there's no way you can fight this army directly. In fact, killing a lot of these Mutas on the retreats. But a Greater Spire on the way. You know what? With this Corruptor count being as useless as it is, it will become incredibly useful with level 3 melee upgrades when they become Broodlords. But the fungal growth goes down and some Phoenixes get cut. Oh god, oh no! No harassment going off anymore. We did have, I mean, Gungfubanda, I really like the Warp Prism early on. I like the Zealots being segmented on the side of the map, but now he's playing this really slow passive game that I don't think is going to work. His style is going to let him max out, but I don't know that he can take an actual engagement against Miniraser. Because he's going to have the wrong units. I mean, okay, now he's getting the Immortals to deal with the Ultralisk, but guess what, guys? The Broodlord's going to counter those Immortals pretty hardcore. All he needs to do is clean up these Phoenix so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore, and then he's good to go. 1 or 2 good volleys here, almost sniped him off. Oh, where's the Spore Crawler when you need it? There we go. Oh, the Spore Crawler, speak of the devil, gets the kill! Kills Steal! Kills Snipe, whatever you want to call it. And the Phoenixes are still dancing around trying to do as much damage as they can on the full retreat here. But Gungfubanda is buying himself so much time. I can't, like, this attack is not doing anything. It's kind of, he's doing a little bit of annoyance, but that's it. But realistically, what this is doing is buying him all the time in the world to get his army where it needs to be. This is a situation where had Miniraser just moved with a bunch of Ultras, probably would have won when there was only 2 Immortals in play. But now there's so many Immortals. They're going to each hit for like, what, 65? No, it's not level 3, so... well, that's the Archon. 43 from an Archon, still a lot, though. We're going to have 60 from the Immortals, 65 when level 3 weapon upgrades complete. But this ground army is going to just get absolutely wrecked. The Colossus, they're here to protect against a Ling Flood, but Miniraser being maxed actually can't make a ton of Lings for this. So making some Broodlords instead to be that cannon fodder he needs. But Blink Stalkers can just get underneath those Broodlords when there's only 2 of them like this. It's not an issue. Gungfubanda also has some hallucinations in his armies. He's got some Stalkers. What? This gold base was already, of course, fully mined out and now cleared to move forward. Oh, thank you. Anyways, moving forward here with the army, possibly going to take out this 5th. I mean, it really doesn't matter about this gold base. He knows it too. It's just a larva camp at this point. Doesn't want to get his army caught in the wrong place for what is killing larva. I mean, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But Zealots finally get their place back in the game. Top map. Zealots are going to try and focus the hatchery. I think the Ultralisk won't be enough to save this. I don't know. Level 2 upgrades are hard to gauge, but yeah, okay, looks like he'll save this. By the hair on his chinny chin chin. What did I just get in the mail? Oh, a battery. Cool. My camera, which is dying. Alright, so there's Templar here for Storms, which I find a little bit hilarious. This will actually work for that counter Ling thing that we just discussed. The Colossus are going to get absolutely taken. Problem. There's so many Corruptors still in the sky. The Ultralisk is going to be a problem too, but Storms are going to blanket everything. Broodlords, they've got a lot of health, but they can eat 3 or 4 Storms, no problem. And they move so slowly out of them, sometimes it's not even worth moving them. But the key thing Gungfubanda is doing, guys, these Zealot attacks are way more important than the actual army composition. Miniraser's got that bank going, but it's not as big as Gungfubanda's. And more importantly, he's not got a lot of larva to work with. I mean, he's got a lot of larva right now, but 53, that's 1 remax. If he kills the hatchery, if he kills some larva, he's forcing out a lot of Lings right now. I mean, this is a great situation for Gungfubanda. But these Templars gotta be careful. Feedbacks might be in store for the Queens instead of Storms, I don't know, but this is one large standing army. There's no recall available with this. The Mothership Corps, what are you doing? Where are you? Why are you not with your children? You know, he said it earlier, stupid Mothership Core, and then it's going to apply again. As the Broodlords get closer, the Broodlings start giving chase. Level 3 weapon upgrades are on these little bad boys, so they're going to be stinging like crazy. Like 3 Zerglings coming out at a time here. Just looking to move and segment and stay away from his opponent. What are these Zealots doing? Gungfubanda! You've had immaculate control at every series leading up to this one. We got the Tempest coming out. This is a great choice. For those who don't know, even unupgraded, 3 Tempests will one-shot a Broodlord. This is a great way to deal with this, but I don't know if he's going to have any army left to protect with those Tempests. Forced to fight, stuttering around, stuck in a Blinding Cloud. Fungal Growth locks him in place. He's got no way to get these units out alive. No Mothership Core here. What are you doing? Why are you over here? He's going to take out a couple hatcheries on the way down. He did kill that Hive, so that means no more Vipers, which is a nice thing to not have to worry about. Oh my god, one more shot would have killed that hatchery. It's so frustrating to watch. There's so many bases here that are almost dead, but he got the Hive at least. Consolation prize, I suppose. But I don't think the Tempest count's going to cut it, guys. It's 145 army supply versus 72. Gungfubanda is on the ropes, and this could be the game that knocks him out of today's qualifier. This could be, though, more importantly, the game that qualifies Miniraser into Challenger League for WCS Season 3. He's going to take out this gold base. Not that important. Gungfubanda has a ton of minerals still banked up. This DT is going to actually wreck everything up here, but realistically, this DT may be needed on the... actually, are there overseers? Oh, there are. Sorry, they're just on the other side of the map, speeding forward. But the stock will take out the Corruptors, so the Corruptors can't take out the Tempest. The Tempest will get their job done here to snipe off the Broodlords. But this base compromised. The Ultras and the Lings overrunning everything here for the Swarm. This cuts Gungfubanda off. He's still got a bank to work with those guys. He's not going to starve through the winter. He's okay for the time being. 4K minerals, 3K almost gas, but he's bleeding out, and he's losing control of this game. He's not controlling his units very well. He's going for counterattacks still behind us. He's making a lot of the right moves, but he doesn't have a lot of the right units is the problem. He's going for the composition he needs. He's getting ready to fight this army head on, but right now, it's not enough. The Broodlords... Man, I can't remember the last time Broodlords got to be so good in this game, but they're going to make it work. Trying to push this down. Lots of transfuses coming from those Queens. We got Void Race in the mix. We got Stalkers as well. A recall. A recall 5 feet below, but you know what? It keeps the army alive, so I'm not even going to criticize it. It does its intended job. Broodlords go down. I guess for those who don't know why these do so much damage to Broodlords and nothing else, it's versus massive. They get a 90 damage attack, so it's quite huge. Miniraser, though, you know, he's not a great spot mineral-wise. You can't exactly flood units. He can't build a ton of hatcheries. Well, I could build a ton of hatcheries, but he's going for Neural Parasite. I say this with a question mark because it's kind of cool. Neural Parasite is something we don't really see anymore. It got nerfed to oblivion in Heart of the Swarm. Its range was cut. Its duration was cut. It's really hard to use. But when you consider the fact that Gungfubanda doesn't have a lot of units. Everything you Neural Parasite's 1 less unit for your opponent and 1 more unit for you. So if you can... actually, didn't they make... I'm trying to recall. Sorry, I don't play Zerg enough to know this for sure. I think they made Archons immune. Or Psionic units immune to Neural Parasite. Hang on. Does it say? That doesn't say. I'm pretty sure they're immune, though. I think that was one of the changes. Oh, God. It's just... That's how long it's been, guys. I know most things about StarCraft 2, but I've forgotten ones that don't get used anymore. Neural Parasite has been so long that I don't remember. But, alright, so DT was doing a pretty good job here. This guy's claimed, I think, 2 bases. 18 kills! When did that happen? I know he had a couple of base snipes on him, but 18 kills is huge. Miniraser trying to reestablish a base. He knows he doesn't have a lot of money to work with. I mean, we look at this, guys, and maybe it's 1A move that wins. But Gungfubanda's got a huge army behind this. This is no longer like the 5 Stalkers, 1 Tempest, and like no Archon army it used to be. No, this is a full-fledged Protoss Death Ball. Maybe not full-fledged, that'd be 200, but still, 147 supply, 133 of that is in his army. To match that and put in context, guys, Miniraser has about the same army supply, but a significantly higher overall supply. And most of it's in fairly ineffective units, too, when you consider there's a lot of Lings in play. These Broodlords may become useless, depending on how these Tempests go. Again, they will one-shot with 1 volley, and the Broodlords go down so quickly. They're trying to disengage. Recalls! Fungal Growth goes down. That looks funny, but not going to happen. Oh, man, for those who missed it, too, we had a show match end. Miniraser versus Betrayus. Betrayus... Okay, so the situation was, Miniraser was recalling. Betrayus killed the Mothership Core with a Fungal Growth dot in the middle of the recall, and it crashed everybody's stream and everybody's game involved. A fungal so strong. So when I saw that fungal right now, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I shuddered a little bit. I had that chill run down my spine. Like, not again. Not 34 minutes into this game. But this is a scary situation to be in, guys. For both players, because Miniraser, Gungfubanda now has no minerals. He's exhausted his bank, but yeah, as we see, these Lings trying to get past Combination Storms, and the Colossus is going to have a really not so good time. Not so good. Tempest getting a little bit overextended here. Mothership Core probably going to get abducted. Actually, there's a lot of anti-air, so it doesn't matter where the abducts go. But Blinding Clouds come down, and the Fungal Growth hold every unit in place. I think this is going to be it. The one big green engagement. We even have a Neural Parasite go down on top of the Void Ray. This Void Ray is working against his own Void Rays. His brethren die, and Gratz is called Miniraser. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. If you're a Twitch sub, I want to see those Tasha claps, because this badass son of a gun just qualified for WCS Season 3. We're gonna see him in Challenger League, boys and girls.